Whether you work in human resources or aspire to a career in HR, you may be wondering, what is an HR business partner and what do they do? Hi, I'm Eric from AI HR, and in this video you'll get all these questions answered. But before we start, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any valuable HR insights. Imagine you're working as the HR director of a big enterprise and you receive a report that shows that engagement scores in the supply chain department are at an all-time low. Employees are not motivated, show up late and quit at a higher rate. As a result, the department is spending time and money on recruiting and training new staff and, more importantly, is at risk of missing its financial targets. You need to know why this is happening, but who do you, as the HR director, ask to diagnose and solve this problem? You need someone who understands both the business and the people side of the business, who has excellent communication skills and who can coach managers. In other words, you need an HR business partner. So what is an HR business partner? An HR business partner, also known as an HRBP, is a senior HR professional with a deep understanding of how HR can make the business more successful. An HR business partner is usually responsible for a few hundred to a few thousand employees. They share responsibility for these employees with the employees' direct managers, also known as line managers. HR business partners work together with line managers to create a productive workforce. Good HRBPs are able to align HR activities with the needs of the business. This means that they understand which HR activities should be implemented to reach business objectives. This helps them provide value to internal business stakeholders, such as managers, employees and shareholders, as well as long-term value for the organization. For example, if the VP of production is looking to open up a new factory abroad, the HR business partner needs to understand how they can contribute. They can, for example, analyze the availability of skilled workers in the countries the VP is considering, and analyze the level of competition from other organizations in gaining a skilled workforce. This enables them to give the VP advice on which location is preferable from a human capital standpoint. As you can see, the HR business partner is a strategic professional who crafts and implements company-wide strategies to business challenges. They also measure and monitor existing policies and procedures, and they provide immediate fixes wherever needed. Before discussing the 4 essential competencies an HR business partner needs and what these have to do with flying an airplane, you need to know about the 3 main responsibilities of HRBPs. The HR business partner has a wide variety of tasks and responsibility. The exact tasks will depend on the organization and on how strategic the business partner role is. However, in general, they have 3 roles: the strategic partner, the credible coach, and the relations manager. Let's dive into all 3 of them and what they mean for you as an HR business partner. As a strategic partner, you drive business value and help prioritize business needs. For example, you might be tasked with figuring out if HR should invest in a new performance management system, onboarding practices, or focus on retention instead. What you prioritize depends on the business needs. By having regular meetings with your business leaders, you understand how you can best support their deliverables and co-create business value. As a credible coach, you consult and coach the line managers on their people issues. You have to choose when to coach the managers and what to coach them on. Here you can play a key role in building a strong culture and better people practices through training the company's leaders who are most responsible for people's success. As a relationship manager, you manage the relationship between the employer and the employees, work councils and other employee representation groups. This means that you may be involved in collective bargaining, but also in time-sensitive issues like theft, fraud, health and safety incidents, and workplace misconduct. In large organizations, you'll always have a team behind you that can take care of the more administrative tasks. This means that you can focus on the high impact and strategic workforce challenges, while HR shared services and the specialized HR centers of expertise can assist in solving the more administrative day-to-day challenges. Now that you know about the 3 main roles of an HR business partner, let's look at the 4 essential competencies that every HR BP needs. After that, we'll dive into a typical day in the life of an HR BP, but before we do, if you're enjoying this video so far, you know what to do. I always like to compare the 4 essential HRBP competencies to piloting an airplane. When flying an airplane, you need to know where you are heading because this determines all the actions you take. As an HR business partner, this means that you need to understand what the business is trying to achieve. Only then can you give good advice. Being a good navigator means having business acumen. Second, you need to be able to rely on your visual cues. You need to be able to read your co-pilots and have a feeling of how the people inside the airplane are doing. They are your most important customers. This means that you understand people, culture, and are an excellent communicator. We call this people advocacy. You also have a big dashboard with your flight instruments. These include an altitude meter, an airspeed indicator, a heading indicator, and a turn indicator. These measures tell you how you are doing and that you need to intervene when things go wrong. These are like your HR dashboards, which display KPIs like engagement, employee turnover, but also business data. As a business partner, you need your data literacy to read, interpret, and act on this data. Lastly, for the majority of the flight, the airplane is on autopilot. You need to understand this technology and know when you can rely on it, but you also need to know when to disengage it. This is called digital integration. As an HR business partner, you need to know when you can rely on technology to streamline processes and make HR decisions, but also when you need to step in yourself to solve problems. With these 4 competencies, which again are business acumen, people advocacy, data literacy, and digital integration, you'll be an excellent HRBP and possess the foundations to become an all-round T-shaped HR professional. I've told you what an HRBP does and what competencies they need. So let's dive into what a typical day in the life of an HR business partner actually looks like. To give you a better picture, I interviewed a real-life HR business partner. Phil works in a fast-moving consumer goods company and I asked him to describe his workday. Phil manages about 800 employees in the supply chain division of his organization. Here's an example of a random Tuesday as he describes it.
After making my way to the office, I started the day by going through my email. As a business partner, you need to stay up to date on any time-sensitive issues. A couple of weeks ago, an employee was fired for harassment, and this led to an internal investigation. This is a project I'm monitoring closely as it may affect the well-being of employees, the legitimacy of management, and the reputation of the company. Fortunately, it seemed to be an isolated incident, and I spent the rest of my morning preparing my afternoon meetings. During lunch, I had a meeting with a particularly busy operations and integration manager who joined the company a couple of months ago. She explained that she is struggling to guarantee 99.5% production uptime, which is her KPI. Workers often change their schedule last minute, leading to confusion, late arrivals, and sometimes even missed shifts. All of this can lead to downtime and production errors. I then briefly coached her on how she can provide effective feedback to late arriving employees. I also wrote down to talk to a few of these workers to see what the problem is, review the parameters of the scheduling software, and check in on the recruitment pipeline, as each of these is key to ensuring that the right people are at the right place at the right time. This is how I, as a BP, can help the manager achieve their goals. Next up, I had a work group on automation of the supply chain. I'm involved because supply chain automation will impact a big part of the work population I'm responsible for. Great communication as well as upskilling will be crucial to making this transformation a success. Later that day, I met with the purchasing manager, and I met virtually with the head of learning and development to update him on the progress of the automation workgroup. The company is investing in automation as well as upskilling of high-performing staff to ensure that they remain relevant and are able to stay employed as the skills required evolve. HR plays a key role in this process by ensuring great communication, guiding the transformation, helping people to upskill and reskill, as well as managing internal relocations.
Phil described a full and action-packed day where, as an HR business partner, he worked on a number of urgent operational activities. He dealt with an harassment case, coached a line manager on how to give feedback, worked on tactical and strategic issues such as ensuring uptime, workplace automation, and enabling an upcoming transformation. Do you think you'd like your workday to look like Phil's? Let me know in the comments down below. Phil is a great example of a good HR business partner. He's an HR professional with a lot of experiences who focuses on high-impact people issues. He knows how to strategically align HR activities to drive the business's success. Phil uses his airplane piloting skills, specifically his strong understanding of the business, people, data, and technology, to get the business closer to its goals. Now, I really wanted to make a joke here, but unfortunately, HR did not approve. That's it for the HR Business Partner. If you have any questions about the HR Business Partner, feel free to leave a comment below the video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any HR insights. And if I sparked your curiosity, check out the courses at the Academy to Innovate HR. The link is in the description. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day. Bye bye.